Okay, we are in day 5 of the seven Ascian mirrors of relationship. And because it's not rocket science, that means it's the fifth mirror. Okay, so the fifth mirror is often considered maybe a bit intense um, because it invites us to see the ways that our mother and father are reflected back at us. So, one of the ways is it's said that we often marry our mother or father, and this can actually be the case, not literally, but where the people that we marry often can reflect our mother and father, because if we have unresolved, maybe emotional wounds or unresolved aspects of the relationship that we had with one parent or another, we will often get into relationships with people who will trigger these wounds again and again, and not because they're terrible people, but because this is, in a way, how I guess the energy works, how our subconscious mind offers us these wounds again and again, so that we can see them for what they are and offer us the opportunity to really heal and grow from them. And so we can often see the relationship we have with our parents or had as children in our partner. Another way that this mirror invites us to see our mother and father is in the way that we become them. I know that I always said I'd never be my mother, and I catch her, not because my mother's bad, I love my mother, but I just, I'm my own person. But I catch myself doing and saying things that she did and said, and this is just natural. I spoke about this in another video when I talked about picking up the traits of the people around us. And so this is particularly true because our parents model behaviors and emotions and ways of being in the world for us during our most formative years. And so these actually become subtly ingrained within us. And so we may find ourselves acting out the patterns of their emotions and behaviors. And we also carry the genetic memory of our ancestors and our parents, obviously. And so this is the energy and information that's passed down generationally. There was a study done in which rats were run through a maze, and with it, each generation of rats, without actually ever having seen the maze, was able to solve it faster than the generation before them. And so with this, we know that we carry emotions and information in our genes. And so in that way, we can often become our parents. And perhaps this is, again, for the same reason, in order to resolve some of the aspects that are passed down, to heal them, I suppose, so that we don't continue to pass them down to the generations, our children. But the main thing that this mirror invites us to see is that is our relationship to something greater than ourselves in the world. When we're children, our parents are in essence God. They are both the creator and the provider, and they are in essence responsible for our survival. And so the fifth mirror asks us to take a look at our relationship with our parents and to see the correlation to how we feel about God or the universe or source or whatever it is for you. And so what I mean by this is, if you felt abandoned by your parents, you may not feel supported by life. You may feel life is hard and that you are always left on your own to struggle. If you felt inadequate within the relationship you had with your parents, you may go into the world feeling as though you, as a person, may be somewhat inadequate in comparison to those around you, and that shows sort of, I guess, the greater aspect of how you are with a greater power and even on this physical plane. And so how this relates to manifesting is I often work with people who don't necessarily, they might struggle to accomplish their, or to create their manifestations. Sorry, I don't know why I can't talk right now. I guess because I'm trying to sort of, yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so they might feel that other people always get what it is that they want to create, and they themselves feel that they struggle and it never happens for them. And if they look at the relationship that they have, perhaps they had siblings that they felt were given things and they were always made to work for it, or always it was always withheld from them. And so this mirror invites you to begin to create sort of a comparison between how you feel about your connection and how, I guess maybe, uh, yeah, probably your connection is maybe the best word to source, God, the universe, and how you felt about your relationship with your parents. And Greg Braden has a presentation that he did a number of years ago on YouTube. It appears to be a recorded session that he did, perhaps a weekend workshop or something, and he offers this little exercise to help you. So, using this chart, I love charts. Okay, so using this chart, you would essentially, these would stand in for your male and female caretakers growing up, or perhaps they're two males or perhaps two females, because God, source, the creator, the universe really does not have, it is really genderless. This is more representative, I believe, of just the fact that he really just only talked about male and female, so that's just what I wrote. But anyway, so if you had two males, then you would write two males. If you had two females, you would write two females. Regardless, there will be two. Even if you're raised only by one, the fact that one of them is absent does take part, depending on, so that plays a role in that. And so then you would go through and you would write, there would be positive and negative, and you would go through using simple phrases or single words to describe your caretakers and how you see them now as opposed to how you saw them when you were a child. And this will offer you an opportunity to take a look at how you may feel about your relationship with something greater than you. And the key here is if something comes up and it is, you revile at it, chances are good there is something in there that is worthwhile you taking a look at, something you may want to sit with, because there may be something in there that you have pushed down that you're not willing to look at yet. So yeah, that's why this mirror is pretty intense. And that is the fifth mirror. So tomorrow I'm going to talk about the sixth mirror. Until then, I would love to hear any of your questions, or I don't proclaim to be a expert. I have studied this. And so I guess I do know a little, maybe more than I necessarily say in the videos, but I try to distill it down. But that's sort of the caveat. I will do my best to answer your questions. So yeah, if you have any questions about this, or you want to share how, if you did this exercise and you want to share how it worked out for you, I would love to hear about it in the comments.